Now, everybody, we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, recording artist, actor, writer, and producer, Corina. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. I hope everyone's doing wonderfully. You're all so beautiful.
Thank you, and so are you.
Corina. Remember that song, Corina?
People sing it to me all the time, yes.
You're the second Corina I have met in my life. When I was a kid, my sister, who's older than I, her best friend was called Corina.
Oh.
And that song was out at that time, and I remember how the lyric go, Corina, you're my something.
I don't even know what it is.
I heard it. Yeah.
Jimmy was born yet.
So hang on, let me introduce you to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
It's so nice to have you here, Halle Berry.
Thank you. I love her, so that's a compliment. Thank you.
I love her too. I think she's a brilliant actress. My daughter was Miss Teen Long Island, and the year before her, Halle won it. And Halle gave away the trophy to her. And I spoke with the pageant people, and they said the minute they met her, they knew she was the winner of the year before my daughter. And they said she was the most charming, the most sophisticated, the most intelligent. And this was then my daughter went to the Miss America pageant, and Halle, I think, dropped out at some point to be an actress. But she's a charming girl. I didn't get to talk to her, but I saw her on the stage.
So hold on, because we got to do all of these introductions before you have this long conversation.
I want to tell her what a compliment it is to her, because if you see Halle Berry in person, she's absolutely stunningly beautiful with the cheekbones, a little nose. Her face is symmetrically perfect. She reminded me of Queen Nefertiti, the statue of Queen Nefertiti, and so you could look Egyptian.
Oh.
Absolutely.
My birth name is actually Aida, like the opera.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Cool.
I love that opera.
Yeah.
What a beautiful name, too.
So are you Italian?
No, I'm Puerto Rican. My parents are from Puerto Rico.
Oh, Puerto Rico. My favorite New York people. When I was a little boy, we had all Puerto Ricans coming into our school, and everybody was freaking out. Oh, the Spics are here. Get them out of here. The Puerto Ricans, we hate them. Go back to fucking Puerto Rico. And I used to get so upset because my best friend was Monty Rivera. And I had fried bananas, and I used to go to the house, and then I went out with a friend of mine. She was gorgeous. Her name was Gloria, and she had green eyes, and she was Puerto Rican, and I was crazy.
That was before he was a homo.
Yeah, this is back in 1956 when Puerto Ricans started to come to New York, and all the whiteys were having nervous breakdowns because here come these like weird things from another planet. And I went to the parties, and man, bicho que no me quiero, and we would dance all over, and we had the best time. The Puerto Rican people I love, and my dearest friend in the world is what's her name in New York? I'm 78 years old. I can't find my dick when I have to pee sometimes.
Yeah, I know. The film festival lady that I forgot now.
She's a Puerto Rican. I love and adore her.
Anyway,
and
we got to introduce
everybody. You got to see her mother.
What a hot tamale.
Her mother's 5 feet tall, spike heels, Gola May dress, hair, makeup, earrings, and at a wedding she dances and we dance. What is her name? My dearest friend in the world.
No.
No.
We like her too, though.
Oh, what is her name? She's a sweetheart. Anyway, I love Puerto Rican people, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because I don't do that. Puerto Rican people are full of heart, zest, and energy, and they're just delicious people.
So hold on, we got to finish introducing her. So our guest,
Elsie
McCaw. That's not her real name, though. That's her actor name.
She's married to what's his name?
Anyway, there's a film festival we used to go to every January. It's like a horror film festival, and she runs the horror film festival, and she operates under Elsie McCaw.
And I have to tell you something. She's a hero because she's been fighting breast cancer for several years now, and she's winning. So that's the good thing. My Elsie is winning.
So we have our guest co-host today, Miss Eileen Shapiro, which I know you know since that's how we met you to come on the show.
Who is suffering from breast enlargements.
I love it.
Hi.
I'm waiting for them to explode and kill us all in the room.
So then we have our sound engineer who's in Florida. Her name's Danielle. Say hi, Danielle.
Not again with that voice.
Oh, hello.
There you go. That was good, Danielle. And then we have our videographer taking care of all our television stuff. His name's Scott, and he's actually in Philadelphia.
Hey there, Corina. Love you.
Oh, thank you, honey. How are you?
Great.
Now,
Great. Thanks.
Corina, how much snow do you have?
Oh my God, tons. It's been snowing for like 3 hours, which is weird for New York City, you know. But
You're in
it doesn't
Manhattan?
seem to be sticking. Yeah,
So Manhattan's getting all that snow? That's rare.
it's really weird. Yeah, I don't know. We just came from upstate, Hudson by Columbia County, and we
Forget it.
always get like massive snow there. So
I'm a native New Yorker, born in Brooklyn, so I remember the snowstorm of 1949. It
Huh.
was, it was a snowstorm that was, we couldn't get out. Everybody was locked in their houses. We dug tunnels to get out.
wow,
And the sidewalk, because the trucks would push the snow up on the sidewalk.
right.
And us kids, we play King of the Mountain, throw each other off, and try to kill each other.
So hang on. So for everybody, because I want anybody who's younger who's listening to us, in case you're like the freestyle queen, and we're actually Ron and I are really good friends with Expose and a bunch of people from your genre.
Joy.
They've been on our show a
Joy,
ton of
oh,
times.
Joy, our
I
Bruno,
love
Yeah,
Joy is an angel. We
she's
love her.
been a friend of mine for like 25 years. She's
I
like
love
really
her.
fabulous.
She's
I love Joy. Joy is special.
So you're a freestyle queen, and actually we've had a bunch of them because we used to go to all their shows, especially in Florida and on the East Coast. So we met. She'd bring us backstage, and we got to meet all the different, like TKA. I don't know, all those people from your genre, which now I can't think of all of them.
I
Sapphire,
like-
yeah.
Sapphire, all those people.
No,
which
I like Suave.
Suave. He like
Suave.
Hey,
Suave.
Wasn't he cool? He is the
Yeah,
cool
he's very sweet. Yeah.
and so cool. I love the way he dresses. He's got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
1945 elegant look. He's
That's
my
right.
favorite. He's my favorite.
Lisa. Yeah, all those
Couple
people.
girls, Sweet
How about
Sensation.
Yes, all of them. Yes, actually, Scott is friends with Sweet Sensation, right, Scott?
Jade Starling, Pretty Poison.
Yeah.
Wow, Jade is cool too. I love her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a
Karina,
good friend of mine.
do
She's
you
a friend of
remember?
mine too, Scott.
Wait, hang on. Do you remember BNGB?
Yeah.
No, she's not freestyle though.
She's a good friend.
No, she's a rap artist.
Yes,
and
rapping.
No.
R&B.
She's singing regular now. And
Oh.
Lily McLeod.
No.
She won't know
Nicole
Lily McLeod. No, she won't know Lily.
She was big. She was on X Factor.
But that's now, and that's not. But back then she had a big hit. But I was trying to make a
Her
point.
hit was Get Out of the Rain.
I don't know that. No, that wasn't it.
You know Wendy Moten?
No.
Wendy Moten. Those are all R&B people, and she's like a freestyle dance person, so it's different.
Right. But I listen to R&B. I listen to all kinds of music, actually.
That's what I was going to say. Music people listen to all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm trying to like shout your praises so anybody who's never heard of you checks you out, you guys. This is like the freestyle queen. She was like has major hits. We just played Temptation. She had Whispers, Now That You're Gone. We played Summertime earlier. She's a huge hit, and not only is she still doing music, she's also like Madonna, reinventing herself all the time. She's an actress. She has a new show getting ready to debut in New York called Voices in My Head. On television, you've seen her in All My Children, One Life to Live, As the World Turns, New York Undercover, Cosby, and she's also done some cool films. And she even did a movie called Fortunes with Peter Dinklage and Funny Valentine with Anthony Michael Hall. And Anthony Michael Hall's been on our show.
Yeah, and I played Frida Kahlo in Tim Robbins' film Cradle Will Rock.
Susan Sarandon and Vanessa Ray,
That's
John
so cool.
Cusack.
What was that?
I
Go.
said, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You've got good credits.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask. This is a conversation show. We don't ask questions like stupid questions.
Okay.
Like, why did you want to be a singer? I mean, who gives a shit?
Right. Exactly. I agree. I have a video of myself. It's old in Japan. We were doing like a whole week of 8-hour interviews a day that started like at 6 o'clock in the morning. And every single interview started with, so when did you know you wanted to be a singer? And one day I was PMSing pretty awful. Like, and I'm in front of the camera, unaware the camera is like on me. And I go, I was this old. I knew since I was born. And I was so annoyed, and it comes off. It's the funniest thing to watch. It's like I was a robot. Yeah. So I appreciate this being a conversation.
If I get interviewed a lot, and if ever they ask me, what made you decide to be an actor, I said, well, it could have been while my mother was giving birth to me, I was reciting Shakespeare. A stupid answer like that, and they get the hint, rather than saying, "Oh, shut the fuck up! Don't ask me that stupid question."
Right.
But some of these interviewers, I don't know why they call themselves interviewers, but our show is a fun show, and it's unfiltered, and you could say whatever you like. We could curse. We could like real people. Make believe you're in Brooklyn, in my house. Wait a minute. Wait, in Brooklyn, we're in the kitchen. We're
South Bronx.
Oh no, but I'm from Brooklyn. Screw her. But anyway. Listen, Brooklyn's better than the Bronx. Please. Right, Brooklyn? No, but everybody wants to be from Brooklyn. But anyway, we're in my.
I've never heard that.
I just made it up. Make believe we're in my kitchen having Entenmann's crumb cake and coffee.
We can't get Entenmann's crumb cake here.
How about Little Susie's?
Or Little Susie's, Little Debbie's,
whatever they are.
And that's what our show's all about. And that's why we've had some major stars on our show. I mean, really, Academy Award winners. And they all said, I have never enjoyed a show like this. I'm so relaxed. And you guys just make me feel like I'm your buddies. And that's what we want you to feel like.
Thank you.
Because you're a sweetie. I could tell.
I mean, this is so comfortable, and you guys look like you're just hanging out. I love it.
Yeah, that's what we
are.
do. We are just hanging, and we don't do drugs.
I have to say too, on a compliment, I know we were talking, and you look like Halle Berry and like all these things, but considering like how long you've been working as a successful entertainer, you haven't aged a frickin' day. Like you look the same as you did like back in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, that's thanks to my mom. I haven't had any of the Botox yet, but I've been thinking about it.
You don't need it. You're so gorgeous.
No, but thank you. That's so kind. Thank you.
Don't screw up your face. My friend, sounding like Debbie now. There's an interview with Debbie who's. No. Shut up! I don't care. I'm going to tell. She's interviewing me, and all Debbie does is. I'm going to tell her when she interviews me, knock it off.
Oh my God!
Because I can't take the.
What is that?
Debbie, she interviews. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So she tries to think of a question to ask you, and it's when I'm on her show, you will hear me say to her, Debbie, knock it off. Get rid of that crap. But I forgot now what I was going to say, which is not uncommon for men my age.
You gotta love it. So let's let her.
About not aging. Gloria Hernandez married some guy and the girl I went out with lives in San Diego. Oh. And Teddy Gaglias, who married her cousin, Puerto Rican girl, he's Greek, had a reunion of a 50,000-year wedding. And when I walked in and I looked at Gloria, I thought, oh my God, this fucking broad, she's got her face shot up with plaster. And she's young, and she's got to be like my age, 70-something, 75 or 76. And I said to her, you look incredible. She said, so do you. So I thought, well, it's not Puerto Rican genes. Because I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm Italian. But what difference between Puerto Rican and Italian? Fried bananas.
Who knows? So hold on.
Platanos, Jimmy.
Plantanos.
I love plantanos. I love that. So delicious.
So we want to get in a good plug for you here. So you have a new show. You got to tell us a little bit about it. It's called Voices in My Head is what I wrote down. It's debuting at the Flamboyant Theater or the Clemente. I don't know. I guess that's the same thing on March 12th. Tell us a little bit about what's Voices in My Head because Eileen's going to it.
I'm so excited.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited too. I can't wait. We're going to have a good time. So basically, I was a child performer. And I don't know what I like doing most. It just so happened that I got a recording deal first when I was about 18. And I discovered that I could create characters. Actually, I was creating characters. I lived in a very abusive household. And so when I wasn't, scrubbing walls and cleaning and taking care of my little sister and brother, I would go into my bedroom, lock myself up, and create characters and perform in front of my bedroom mirror where I had this sort of fantasy audience that my story is that I brought the audience out into the world one day, and just from visualizing, like I totally believe that. And so my first show I wrote back in 2000 called Fear in All of Me, because believe it or not, I've been performing my entire life and I suffer from incredible stage fright.
Oh, wow.
Go away.
Yeah. So I have a pretty good octave range that could literally completely go away if I get scared enough. I cannot sing. So I wrote Fear in All of Me with the idea being feel the fear and show up anyway. And I do these characters that would tell stories about my life, things that I went through, but as people that I met, like my best friend Ayelet, who was an Israeli girl, and this transgender that I met like 30 years ago by the name of Bambi. So I had all these wonderful characters. And then this time around, I wrote Voices in My Head, which is really, the voices in my head is my creative process. Everything I've ever done, from singing to writing to creating, just about anything, including I've written sitcoms and full-length feature scripts, and we've shot a few things, shorts, have come from voices. Usually they're the voices of, say, my grandma, my dad now who has passed, and oftentimes they're just voices, and it's almost like inspirational voices. And I like to think of them as Puerto Ricans are very spiritual people, and my mom was big into Santeria and that kind of stuff. I'm not religious,
Now, can I go back with you? The reason you were in an abusive relationship was your mother Maria, a friend of ours, her mother wouldn't let her date. She was 18 years old. She wasn't allowed to go out with a boy. They used to sneak. And if the mother found out, she'd beat the shit out of her daughter because stay away from boys. Was your mother that kind of a Puerto Rican with that very old-fashioned, traditional craziness?
But on top of that, yes, to that question. But
so you weren't allowed to date boys or go to parties and anything?
We weren't allowed to go out, really. However, my mom was also a suicidal manic depressive.
Okay, so you had your hands full.
Yeah, so she, I thought everyone's parent was trying to off themselves basically all the time. It was just the most normal thing to call 911 and be like, my mom is passed out. So the first show sort of dealt with that with humor, if you can believe it. My best friend Ivan Diller, many years ago, we were having breakfast, and basically I was telling him some horrible stories. Every time we got together, I'd tell him something else horrible from my childhood, and he would laugh so hard, and he'd say, I've never met anyone that could tell me just the worst stories and make me laugh. You should write this into a show. And that's how my first show happened in 2000. And then now this one. Yeah, it's finding the humor in life's craziness, really.
So let me ask you
one more thing. Do you believe that being abused made you stronger and better? That if you came from a different family, you wouldn't be who you are?
Oh, absolutely.
I believe that also.
Yes. And I also, I really do believe that when we come in to whatever, in my case, this lifetime now, I don't know that there's certain, I don't know if I'm going to call it deals, but there's spirits that we sort of are in a group of, and we come in to fulfill some sort of a purpose. And I don't know that I could fulfill the purpose of being an example for people of just some of the worst challenges and scenarios you can imagine, and still finding truly the beauty in life. And that's what my work is about. It's about saying to people, let me reflect, let me be a reflection for you. Like, look at me. And if you're going through some horrible shit, let me tell you some stuff. And together, I not only can you tell your story, but we can heal each other, and you're not alone.
That's like somebody once wrote something about me. They said, Ron Russell is a white, a white privileged man. And I wrote back on Facebook, privilege my ass. My father was from Italy. When I was bad, my father stood me in a corner, took his belt off, and whipped me. Right. My father used to throw me across the room.
Yeah.
I didn't like my father very much. Right. My mother was another one that she was okay, but she would never go against him because she'd get shot in the head. So she'd let him knock me around. I came from privilege my ass. I came from privilege. I was a war baby. In Second World War, we didn't have coal to heat our house. We didn't have gasoline for the car. We couldn't buy tires. It wasn't privileged.
Right.
People today are privileged.
That's right.
So if they lived my life, they would appreciate the things I like. I love tires on my car now, and I like putting gas in because that's a privilege.
And you know what? I was born in Spanish Harlem. And I was
where 126th Street,
100 from 116 to 119.
And what avenue? 3rd?
Park Avenue and Lexington Avenue.
Oh, I know the avenue. I know the neighborhood.
I know you too. I'm sure you do.
I had a lot of friends up there.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I was born there, and I was raised in the South Bronx when it was the burning times, and so we lived in one of the buildings, surrounded by other burnt down buildings, and that was very normal. So when people see me today, in times when I've had an opinion about something or I went against something that I thought was an injustice, people would say, oh, of course you get to talk that way because you're privileged. And I'm like, first of all, I'm fucking brown. I mean, how
I hate that shit. And I'm gay, so I'm not privileged being
Hello.
gay.
So it's like privilege my ass. I'm a woman. I'm strong, which makes me a bitch. And then, I mean, I could just go on. I'm like, and on top of that, I was raised on food stamps and government cheese. So if I have nice things, I've busted my ass for it. I deserve it. If I want to feel good and look good, why does that make me privileged? I mean, it's like.
Good for you. Good for you, girl. You keep it up. You're fabulous. I love you.
Oh, thank you.
I have a question because we have a lot of people who want to be entertainers who watch this, and the fact that you have stage fright, I think, is and you've overcome it, and you're always working to overcome it. I think that's a big deal. Tell people that, like, at the height of your singing career, I mean, you were probably playing arenas with like 30,000 people or something, right?
Oh yeah. I did. I remember the very first huge thing I did was Candlestick Park. And I remember coming in to the back of it where all these other incredibly famous singers were. And I'm not like a fan kind of, I'm the kind of person that can look at someone and really appreciate their work and inside be just screaming and on the outside just be really kind of cool. And I was just surrounded wall to wall with some of the most incredible singers and stars. And I remember since I was sort of backstage, they kept saying, are you ready? We're going to get you on. Are you ready? And when they pushed me out, when they said Corina and they screamed, I literally went deaf. It was like white noise. And that was my very first experience with that, with the people in my mirror, my bedroom mirror sort of coming out, because that's what I would see when I was a child. And I almost couldn't move. I almost stood there frozen. And what I have found that's crazy is that the more people, the less fear I feel, the more I can see them. So when people are this big, or rather I'm this big on stage, I'm good there. You put me in a place where I can actually focus in on any individual people, like my show, which is why and I'm like dying before I come out every single time. You'll see it. You'll see it because
you're gonna be so nervous.
Corina, can I blow your mind right now?
Yes.
You have 4.5 million people watching you live.
Oh my God.
That's true.
And we're all over the world. We're in England, Australia, everywhere.
I love it. Oh,
so you haven't got any stage fright. You know, when I make movies, I go into a coma. I'm no longer me. I go into another transcendental state. I don't know where I am, but I don't. Everything is like weird and fuzzy. And I concentrate on what I'm doing. So I don't have stage fright. It's just some kind of schizophrenia.
Hang on, it's Eileen's turn. Go, Eileen. What were you going to say?
On your opening night, are you going to like be scared? Do you need a hug? I mean, tell me.
If she hugs you, she'll smother you if she hugs you.
Oh my, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, we have that pre-party, and I'm usually such a mess that my group of people are like, you can't come out because you're just going to be falling apart. You're not going to make any sense. I'm like, we'll figure it out on the day. Just leave me alone for now. Yeah, I literally get sick to the point where I'm like, bleh. And then you throw me out there, and it takes me about probably about 2 minutes to just let the room go. And then I'm okay.
I'm going to be thinking about you in the audience for that 2 minutes and praying for you. But I know that you're going to be great.
But let me tell you something to make you feel better. Do you know who Joan Crawford is, the actress?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. Terrified, stage fright.
Yes.
And in front of a camera, she was wonderful. But you put her in front of people, she was peeing herself, vomiting, fainting. She had to drink everything. Joan Crawford was terrified. Terrified.
Barbara Streisand apparently has the worst stage fright.
Stage fright.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's because when she sings, she's afraid snots are going to come out of her nose.
Exactly. I don't care. I hate her.
So out of all the people that
Did you ever have snots come out of your nose?
Right now, actually.
It's not an uncommon thing for singers, you know, because if they breathe and they hit a note, drool comes out of their nose. It's true.
I love it. So out of all the people who's been one of your most favorite people that you've actually performed with or been in concert with or done on tour with, like who are some of your favorites?
Oh, wow. Let me see. I'll say this. I've worked with a lot of really cool people, and there have been a lot of people that have just been absolute and total assholes, so I won't.
Don't we all have
I
that?
want to know who they are.
I know, right? That's a more interesting interview. I would have to say that in terms of like really well-known people, some of the most amazing people I met were actually in the film world. Tim Robbins and Ruben Blades. Oh my God. Oh, and Vanessa Redgrave. Holy crap.
Yeah,
I mean, love these people. And in terms of singers, one of the people that was really the nicest, Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, he was not only super cool, but really just, I don't know, his spirit felt like really down to earth. But, you know, a lot of people, when you meet them, you generally meet them in like some over-the-top red carpet bullshit party, and they're feeling themselves.
Thank you. I feel the same way.
It's true, you know, and so you don't really get to see who they are, and you don't really get to feel them, and it's like, and so everyone's pretending, and so there hasn't been anyone that I've gotten close enough to that I can honestly say this person is this way or isn't that way. But Lenny Kravitz, we were waiting to be interviewed for a Washington radio station, so we just had like 30 minutes waiting in the hallway, and he was awesome, you know. But cool. That was like a personal moment. Yeah.
Well, do you know who Jane Russell was?
Yeah, he just reminded me. Yes, I know Jane Russell. I love her.
She was my best friend for many years. We hung out, and she was probably the most down to earth, honest broad who used to say to me, I don't know what happened. The Lord was guiding me. I turned a corner and I was in movies. She said, I never wanted to be an actress. I never thought about it. And I have no idea how I became an actress. Really and truly. And she couldn't have cared less about it. She hated making movies. She hated the business. And if somebody said, darling, let's do lunch, she'd go like this. She hated phony people.
So we've got 4 minutes. That's real quick. First of all, you guys, you can find Corina on Twitter, you guys, which I don't know if you followed me back, but you have to follow me back.
Oh, I think
me too.
I'll check.
I'm Dr.
Me
Jimmy
too.
Star, but she's Corina.
Yeah.
Oh, Cat Ayala. So it's Corina Kattayala.
Yes.
Oh my God, I did that. Ayala, sorry,
No,
Ayala.
I have to complete the interview. Who's your husband? When did you meet him? How long are you married? And are you terribly in love?
Oh my God. Okay, so my husband is Joaquin Maceo Rosa. He is as beautiful as his name. I met him, I did my one-woman show, the first one, and someone who came to see it wrote something for me. And I met him because there was myself. There was only 4 characters, myself, Mr. Wrong, Mr. Right, and Mr. Right Now. And believe it or not, my husband was playing Mr. Right.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to say Mr. Right Now.
No, I love
this. And what's crazier is that we never learned our lines, because if I tell you, we fell in love immediately. So when it was time to perform, we couldn't give anybody cues, and we made it up, and then we won the festival.
That goes to show you're better than the writer and the director.
I love it.
So how long are you married?
12 years now.
Good.
Congratulations.
And how many children?
None.
Oh, okay. Not everybody wants children today.
Well, our projects are on our children.
Right.
There you go. So hold on.
And these are our children.
Oh, yay!
Yes, us too.
So wait, tell everybody, because we've got two minutes. How do we get tickets?
I want to sign off from her. I have to say something. I absolutely find you to be the most charming, the most beautiful, smiley, happy, outward personality. Why you're ever shy on stage, do not be. Because as an audience, I would adore watching you and seeing you. You actually connect with people. So get over that bullshit. And thank you so much for coming on the show. I really do care very much about you. I'd like you back again.
Yeah, we'll have her back. But hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Tell us, how do people get tickets for your show?
Oh, so let's see. If you go to corinavoices.beatpt.me. So it's brown paper tickets, and you just look up Voices in My Head.
There you go. And you guys
or even corinacatayala.com.
There you go. And you guys follow her on Twitter. She's also got a sitcom in development, a debut Latin album coming out, and a memoir in the pipeline. And when some of those things get ready to come out, just shoot me another email and we'll bring you back.
When you do
Oh my God, this has been so great. I love
Next time we'll bring you on earlier.
When you do the Latin album, because I know how to do the cha-cha, the mambo from my day. And I was good at the cha-cha was some dance, let me tell you. I used to cha-cha my ass off all over the floor.
So anyway, we wish you all the luck with your show, Voices in My Head. We want to thank Eileen for introducing us to you.
Yes, thank you, Eileen.
Absolutely wonderful. You're so wonderful, and we will see you soon. And good luck with the show, and keep us posted. And anything you need, let us know.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you all.
Thank you,
all right, you guys. Bye.
Nice to know you, Corina.
All right, everybody. Thank you so
Bella.
much.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
Yay.
Bye-bye, honey.
What a fabulous lady. What a fabulous show,
nice...
you guys. We had a great time, you guys. We want to thank everybody in the chat room. We want to thank Danielle and Scott. We want to thank Eileen for coming with us. We're getting ready for a
And we want to thank Eileen's sisters for showing up.
There we go. And you guys, chat room, thanks everybody.
For having me.
And we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.